Welcome to Daily Conversation. This is Mr. K.
This is Eric.
Yeah, today is the 29th of July 2021 and the time now is 6:18 a.m. Well, today our topic is how are our attitudes formed and what are the implications? So before we get started, please click the like button and subscribe to our YouTube channel. All right, so here we go. Okay, so today we talk about attitudes. And yeah, I think firstly for today's topic and yesterday's topic, I mean yesterday's you talk about happiness and pleasure. Um, they somehow related, right? And there are some points which is the same. The attitude also is in your sharing yesterday. And however, I think yeah, it is it is quite complicated. Okay, firstly, for the first part of the question, how are our attitudes formed? And for this part, I think uh, in the link that I share with you, um, yeah, there are a few uh, aspects. And the first is experience. Second is social factors, and the next is learning, and the fourth is conditioning, and the last one is observation. I think for that link, it actually help us uh, to break down the formation factor already. So yeah, we may try to um, also discuss a little bit for these five factors, and then yeah, for attitudes, even though we didn't do anything, yeah, if let's say we didn't do anything, the attitude still form because yeah, like the fact is just now we have experience. Yeah, I mean, you didn't try to do anything to change or to form your attitude, it will still form because when we do when we do things, when we uh, experience anything, attitudes are formed automatically. So yeah, somehow sometimes when we, let's say if we are in a not so good environment, yeah, for example, if you were in school and then in a class which everybody uh, didn't like to study, and then yeah, in that environment maybe this will also affect our attitude. Yeah, and for this example, I think it is the third and the fourth, or maybe it's the fifth, learning, conditioning, and observation. These three things, and yeah, actually is I think it's all of it. Yeah, the fact is I'm also quite confused, uh, because if you observe the people around you, everybody is not studying, then maybe you will form an attitude that study is not that important. And then for the social factors also, yeah, it's something like for social factors, it is uh, it's something like a culture. So in that class, it also like a culture. And for this one, social factors, I also think it is quite similar to what we read in the Atomic Habit. There is one thing which is called uh, to follow the many, to follow yeah, to follow the many or to follow the powerful, to follow the people close to us, social factors. So all of these actually affects our attitude, and yeah, this is something that maybe we don't have the awareness that we are actually forming a particular type of attitude, and then more importantly, this attitude actually will lead to three things, and then it is also in the link. And firstly is the emotions. Is it emotions? Wait a minute. Affection or emotion? Yeah, it's affective components, which means that with a particular attitude, we will form an yeah, this is actually I think it's the emotion. We will form a particular emotion. Let's say if you don't have a good attitude to a particular race, and then when you meet someone who is in that race, from that race, and then you will have a bad feeling, you will have a negative emotions toward that person, even though you didn't know him, you haven't started to talk with him or uh, contact with him. Yeah, so this will lead to first emotion. Second is behavior. Yeah, for this one, it is more direct, right? Once we have a particular attitude, maybe we will do something or we will avoid to do something. Yeah, and then an example could be previously we talked about investment. So maybe for some people, investment in, let's say, stock, they think it is very risky and will cause you bankruptcy. So in that case, they have a bad attitude towards, not bad attitude. This is a negative attitude to them. So whenever they encounter uh, somebody say investment in stock, they will lead them to the behavior that they refuse to uh, continue talking, or they avoid, or um, yeah, they won't try to hear or understand it. Yeah, this is the behavior effect, and then effects, and then the last one is the cognitive. Yeah, for this one, also I have some questions here, question marks here, because the components of attitudes mentioned in the link, I think it is something like uh, because we have a particular attitude, and then it will lead to these three uh, things. And then just now I already mentioned emotion, behavior, and right now is cognitive, because I think cognitive is something uh, like you said yesterday, we have a cognitive therapy, which is how we interpret a particular thing. And then for attitude, I also think that it is something like how we interpret a particular thing. And then so for cognitive, uh, I think maybe it comes before attitude and also after attitude. Means that firstly we have a particular cognitive, and then uh, because we see something, and then we evaluate it, and then we will lead to a particular uh, forming process of attitude. And after that, with that attitude, maybe next time when we uh, encounter something, and we will use this attitude, and this attitude will further also lead to some cognitive uh, I mean have to make decisions in the cognitive process. Yeah, and yep. So I think uh, this is the first part of the questions, and I don't know whether you have some confusions with my sharing, because I think it is quite complicated and I didn't elaborate quite well. Yeah. So how is it?
Standing from this article perspective, yeah, it's
Mm.
a thing that you summarize.
Yeah, Eric, can you speak louder?
Okay, yeah, standing from this article perspective,
Yeah,
the summary match the article.
yeah.
Yeah, but what is the implication?
Okay, yeah. Implication is the second part of the question, and I think for here because it will lead to uh, I think just now I have talked three aspect: emotion, and then behavior, cognitive. I think the behavior part is very direct. It means that if we didn't have the awareness to review our attitude or to make a change of our attitude, it will actually affect our behavior. It will stop us from doing something. It will maybe stop us from learning also. Yeah, so firstly, I think we need to have the awareness that attitude can have this effect, so that we need to um, yeah, maybe have a more open mind when learning things, and also review our own attitude. Yeah, uh, so that attitude can be changed. Yeah, according to the informations that I share in the link, because from the five aspect, learning and some experience is the things that form the attitude. So it means that uh, with further learning and further experience, we still can change the attitude. And also, I found that forming an attitude in some way is similar to forming a habit. And for example, uh, experience uh, or the yeah experience or the learning uh, in forming a habit. When we do something and we do it one time, two time, three time, repeat it. And this is also something that we give a vote. Yeah, we vote one time, two times, three times. And then lastly, because we vote this action is something that uh, uh, we want to do. And in the end, the habit will more likely to be formed. So for attitude, I think it's also something like that. If we uh, learn something and then maybe we use it and then we experience it, and then yeah, if we keep repeating the same thing, maybe let's say uh, we learn new uh, things, and then we learn its benefit and we think it is good, and then this is and we also take action. So at that time it is something like uh, we vote for action, we also vote for the attitude. And then next time when we repeat, and the third time, fourth time, fifth time, and then uh, if we keep repeating, I believe that it will also something like forming the attitude. Of course, it is not so easy. It is more complicated. For example, uh, maybe you do it, and then maybe you fail, and then that will also give the negative return to ourselves, and then maybe that time it will stop us from doing the next time. Yeah, and then um,
So the question here is why you want to
hmm,
change attitude.
yeah, because attitude control our cognitive, control our uh, behavior. Not every time, but uh, sometimes.
But your
And
cognitive also control your attitude, your behavior
mm,
also control your also control your behavior also control your attitude.
yeah, this is a part that I also feel confused, and I think it is something like, firstly, you do it, and then you form an attitude, and this attitude will lead you to do behavior cognitive, but at the same time it will have some feedback. Yeah, let's say you do something, and then you experience it, you will have some feedback to your attitude.
Yeah. So if people if you share this article to other people and then they'll ask you, wow, so this article is talking about the attitude. And then so what should we do about the attitude? Or what we should do on the attitude?
Yeah, this is on the implication part. Um, um,
I think the first thing is something you mentioned just now. You need to aware it because your attitude can affect your behavior. Your attitude
yeah.
can affect your cognitive.
Mm.
But if I want to change the attitude, then what should I do?
Yeah, change
And
attitude.
and yeah, and would you say attitude is very important? And if I ask you to rank, let's say attitude, emotions,
Yeah.
behavior, cognitive, these four things, which one is more important?
Okay, attitude, behavior, cognition, emotion. Um, yeah, and actually, if you ask me like this, I actually am also kind of uh confused because the term's attitude uh sometimes it is like overlaps with uh the components that you mentioned just now.
Mm.
Like attitude is also sometimes, if you look at it, it is quite similar to emotion, and sometimes it is similar to something like your belief, and then your opinion. Yeah, they're not some separate thing.
Mm.
Yeah, maybe uh is my lacking of understanding. I think they are quite linking together and couldn't be separate.
Yeah, they are linked together. Mm. So instead of focus on attitude, can we just focus on other three components: emotion, behavior, and also the cognitive, and then the attitude will take care for a short.
Mm. Oh, you means that instead of keep affecting by attitude, we put efforts on the three uh three
Yep.
things.
Because if I ask you a question, how do you
Mm.
change your attitude? You change from three aspects: emotions, cognitive, behavior, right?
Mm.
Yeah.
Um, but these three things isn't that our attitude? Okay. For this one, do you think um our attitude affect these three, or these three affect attitude more? Which one is more?
Okay, I think is the three things affect attitude more.
Oh, mm, yeah. To me, I think cognitive affect attitude more, and then
No, no,
attitude affect behavior more.
no. Just now. Oh, yeah. You understand like this? Yeah, it's also can. Mm. You,
Yeah,
you say attitude affect emotion. Affect behavior more.
yeah, and
How
but
about cognitive affect behavior? Because
cognitive,
all of
mm,
our all of our great decisions made by our cognitive.
yeah,
Mm. If you didn't think deep, you couldn't make a good behavior.
mm,
Even if it's just a small habit, you also need to think. You also need to design, maybe design environments or design the timing, locations, and all that.
Yeah.
You need to
Yeah.
and instead of doing this, but why not? Since you talk about attitude, attitude can derive from these three things: emotion, behavior,
Mm.
and cognitive. How about
Yeah.
we separate them? Left hand side is the attitude, right hand side is these three things.
Mm.
Yeah. And instead of focus on attitude, the left hand side, can we just
Yeah.
focus on the right hand side, these three things, and then the attitude, the left hand side, will take care for a short.
Mm. Yep. Yep. And in this case, I think it can be referred back to the yesterday you're sharing, right? For example, the cognitive therapy. It is dealing with the cognitive component. It is one of the way which we can intervene our cognitive process, right?
Mm.
Like the magnifying and minimizing. And for effective component, yeah, can you say for this one, um, it, can it be the method of visualization, which we
I,
imagine?
I think they are not one to one. I think they are not one to one relationship.
Oh,
Yeah, of course they are overlaps. For example, the first is
mm,
taking actions. This is
yeah.
somehow relate to the behavior.
Mm-mm.
But you look at the background of the third method, which is the cognitive therapy.
Yeah.
Our thoughts lead to emotion. Our emotion lead to behavior.
Mm.
They are linked together.
Yeah.
Thought is cognitive, emotion, and emotions link lead to the behavior. So
Mm.
how can you say the cognitive therapy is just about the cognitive?
Yeah. Yeah. Yep.
Mm. It includes three things, thought,
Mm.
emotion, and behavior. Yeah, it
Yeah.
includes three things.
Yeah. That's why I think it's very complicated.
And the first method about the taking action,
Mm.
what's the background theory is actually the self-perception theory. The self-perception theory is also about when you do something and then the thing you do will shape your identity. You go on the stage, give a speech,
Mm.
and you think you are a confident person, and you are more likely to do this in the next time.
Yeah.
You derive conclusion from yourself just like you derive conclusion from other people.
Mm.
Let's say the first impressions you the other people give you is, yeah, they are outgoing. So if you act like that, yeah, even though you act like that, you also will think yourself is an outgoing person. Yeah,
Mm.
this is how self perception theory uh work.
Mm. Yeah.
Yeah, so this is also involve it not only involve the behavior, it also involve something like the emotions, how
Mm.
you feel.
Yes.
Mm. And it also can affect your thoughts. Mm.
Yeah.
Yeah, and the second method is about the visualization. Imagine your success. It's also the same. You need to evoke your emotions when you imagine the success. You need to invoke as as many sense as you can.
Mm.
Mm. Yeah. So it also include the emotion.
Mm.
You know, and eventually what we want is actually it make us it make us do something. It's not just we keep imagining. Mm.
Mm.
Eventually the method here is actually it can improve our performance, and then this is the first thing, can improve our performance, And second, it is something like the preparations, so that when we face obstacle, we are more likely to overcome it
Yeah.
because we already quote unquote foresee the success behind the obstacle. So we are more likely to overcome the obstacle. And the
Mm.
third thing is, because our brain don't like inconsistency. Don't like inconsistency. If you keep doing that, if you keep imagining success, and the brain couldn't distinguish whether it's fake or whether it's real.
Yeah.
So either you bring your attitude, your attitude, your internal ones, aligned to the external one, which is your behavior,
Mm.
or it will change your behavior and to fit your internal, your attitude.
Mm.
But what we want here, we actually want more easier to change our behavior.
Change our behavior. You means that we firstly to form our internal first, and then we were likely to do that particular thing.
Yeah, this is the idea of imagine success, right? You just imagine success. You didn't take action, but you imagine first. But at the same time, you also need to take actions. And remember, the belief is only one of the components of success. There are two other components, which is hard work and also
Passion.
belief, hard work and passions. Yeah. So you cannot just rely on belief and then you can achieve anything. You can't do that. Yeah, in fact, in future we have one topic. This is a Monday video review. This is about the Stockdale paradox, and this is also about belief.
Oh.
Yeah. And okay, and I want to clarify some things, maybe correct something.
Yeah.
From in yesterday topic, I talked about the cognitive therapy method. You can interpret the events subjectively but positively.
Yeah.
It can improve your immune system. It can it will improve it will increase the longevity, which is your life expectancies. Yeah, and it will let you become more confident, and you'll be you're more happy. You will recover from a crisis more promptly.
Yeah.
And like your skin will become better because it's related to the immune system. Yeah, and here is the key point. Here is subjectively and objectively, subjectively and positively. Okay.
Yeah.
But one of the point I think I did mention yesterday is it must reveal some part of reality. So you cannot ignore the reality.
Okay.
Yeah, and here means the reality is also as important as positive. Yeah. So yeah, because reality is not something like black and white. There's a lot of gray area, and you can focus on something that's working or something that's not working. You can focus on something that you are able to control or something that you cannot control. This is your choice. Yeah, but cognitive therapy is also, yeah, if let's say if you can If you can keep your focus on something that you can control, will it be more helpful, even though it's negatively? Or maybe you focus on something that you couldn't control, but it's positive. For example, like lucky.
Mm.
For example, like something like the karma.
Yeah.
For example, like something that you couldn't control, maybe it's just a coincidence. Yeah, so in this case, reality is also important. You not only focus on the positive, yeah, because sometimes the positive thing is not the reality. It's just something like the rationalization. You just treat yourself. Yeah.
Yeah.
So subjectively but positively, but you also need to take the reality into consideration. It must represent part of the reality. If you interpret something positively, but it is far away from the reality, and it is an unrealistic belief, and
Yeah.
and it's and more likely you couldn't get the thing. You couldn't get the thing you imagine, or you couldn't get the thing you believe, because you believe is unrealistic. So more
Yeah.
likely you couldn't get it, you couldn't achieve it. Yeah. So at the end, you will just in turns it broke your heart. Yeah, because you couldn't fulfill you couldn't fulfill your needs. You believe in the thing, but you couldn't get it.
Yeah.
So in long term, it actually did hurt. It actually hurt you. It will hurt your belief. It will hurt your behavior. It will hurt your actions or something. You can imagine. Yeah. It also will hurt your confidence, will hurt your self-esteem. Yeah. So yeah, the key here is reality is also very important. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
So okay, let's say I give you an example. You want to be rich, and then you buy a jackpot. Yeah, you buy a lottery ticket, and you hope to become rich. Is it possible? Yeah, it's possible.
Yeah.
And when you buy a lottery ticket, are you believe you are able to win the lottery?
No.
Why? If you don't believe, why you buy?
Okay. Yeah. For belief. Uh. Yeah. Sometimes people just hope. You hope to get to win the lottery. Uh. They may not believe. Uh. Of course, they hope to get that. Yeah. But in their mind, maybe I'm not sure. It depends. From people to people.
Yeah, but what is the difference here between hope and belief? You get some hope.
Yeah.
But it you didn't achieve, so the hope drop into the water. And then so the next time you want to pick up the hope again, and then it drop into the water again. So a few times after, it actually also hurt your hope, right?
Yeah.
How about belief? It's also the same thing. So no much difference between belief and hope. For example, let's say you invest in some stock, let's say like Tesla,
Yeah.
or let's say like uh, uh, some some small cap stock, and then you believe it will rise and it will become the top company. So
Yeah.
you can earn a lot of money from that. Then will you say it's a hope, or will you say it's a belief?
Yeah. I would say hope. I believe here.
Mm. Yeah, but why buying a stock is belief? Why buying a lottery ticket is hope? And how about you gamble? You gamble in the casino.
Mm.
Is it hope or is it belief? Yeah, so you couldn't distinguish it because
Mm-mm.
it actually
Right.
based on your cognitive. If you think the thing is negative ones, for example,
Mm.
gambling, and also like buying lottery tickets,
Yeah.
and you think this is negative, so you will say it's a hope. If you think something is positive, you will say it's belief,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Mm.
Mm.
So if you can't distinguish the key difference between hopes and belief,
Yeah.
then don't distinguish them. You just make the thing worse.
Mm.
Mm.
Yeah.
Yeah. So back to the example. Yeah. No matter you working in a company and then you hope or you believe you can become the senior, you can become the CEO, you can become the managing director, um, or you invest in some stock and then
Mm.
you believe or you hope the stock price will rise. The company is great. The company is creating value,
Mm.
and the company is uh is is a great company. So you when the stock price rise, and then you can earn money from that.
Yeah.
Mm, no, or maybe you gamble. Mm, maybe you have some skill, can read the minds, or maybe you have some you have a you you acquire some memory skill,
Mm.
which you can remember all the cards, all the number on the card.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then you believe you can win the game, or you hope you can win the game, or maybe you buy a lottery. You buy a lottery. Yeah. So yeah, the key thing here is buying a lottery. Buying lottery on the probability perspective, you will lose in long term because the net what is it called uh the expect the expected value, yeah, the
Mm.
expected value,
Yeah.
which is the EV,
Yeah.
is negative. For example, you have 1 million tickets, and then if you win the lottery and the winner, there's only one winner, and
Mm.
the only winner can win 5 million, but you have 10 million tickets. So the expected value is negative 5 million.
Mm.
Yeah, if you buy all the lottery tickets and then you should become the winner.
Yeah.
But you will lose 5 million. So this is the this is a mathematic
Mm.
behind. So from the probability perspective and from the math perspective, it is something that you could earn money from that. If you earn money from that, it's just you're lucky. It's irrelevant with your belief, with your hope. And
Mm.
it's also irrelevant what you behave.
Yeah.
Maybe you wear a red underwear and then you go buy a ticket, but it didn't guarantee you to win the lottery.
Mm.
Yeah. No matter what you do, no matter what you think, no matter what you dream, some people dream a number. Yeah.
Mm.
So this is a false belief. This is a false hope. You shouldn't
Yeah.
do that. And how
Yeah.
about investing in stock?
The
Some
same.
people some people didn't do analysis and then they buy the stock. They listen
Mm.
to rumors.
Yeah.
So they buy the stock. They don't do analysis by themselves. They don't do homework. They
Mm.
steal other people homework.
Yeah.
Mm, yeah. And also stock markets, and also no matter stock market, cryptocurrency, or what's like the property markets, it involves some luck. Yeah, it also involves some luck. It's not 100% certainty.
Mm.
Yeah, even though you did a lot of homework, you did a lot of research, and then you found that this is a great company. Something unexpected happens. Alright, some unexpected things happens.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you may lose money. Yeah, so here is, but what is the logic behind? You did some study, you did some analysis, some research, and you found that the demand of the product is increasing, and then the company is doing great, the production lines is just great. It keep build the demands, and then in futures, you can foresee in long term the demands will also keep increasing. And then the management team is great. They are doing right things. And then the company, the stock price now is undervalued, let's say. So you buy the company, and then you hope or you believe that the stock price will back to its value. Yeah, so nothing wrong here. Yeah, nothing wrong here. But it doesn't guarantee you to win a game. Yeah, there's still some risk. You also need to aware that. Yeah. So part of the reality here is, yeah, if you apply the cognitive therapies after you lose the game, yeah, after you lose a lot of money, and then what the cognitive therapies you can do to cure your mental, to keep your behavior in a good way, so you are not like want to recover the loss, and then you add more average and then gamble, yeah, add the leverage and then put in more money to invest or invest on other stock by the gambler. So you can do it subjectively, you can do it positively, but it must reveal some reality. It must reveal some reality. And what you should focus, maybe you should focus on something that you can control rather than something that you couldn't control. Yeah, so you can improve, you can improve yourself. And then maybe, okay, let's say the thought here is, oh, I lose okay, let's say what is the event? The event is you lose a lot of money from the stock market.
Yep.
Your thought is somebody against me, they sell the stock heavily, so he or she or them or they want me to lose money. So these thoughts lead to the emotion. The emotion is anger. It's anger, or maybe anxious.
Yeah.
Or maybe fear. And then once your behavior maybe escapes these stock markets, or maybe you want to fight against them, you want to put in more money. And then what if is your thought is the event is you lose a lot of money from the stock market, and then your thought is your thought is what is the fundamental? Is the fundamental change? Let's say it's a fundamental of the company change. Yeah, maybe it did change. So why I didn't realize it? So this thought lead to the emotions. Maybe you're curious. Maybe a little bit upset to yourself. But what the emotion will lead to? What the behavior the emotion will lead to? Maybe you'll work harder. You know it become lessons. You need to aware this. You need to aware this in future. So when the stock price rise, you don't lose your mind. You still can step back and then analyze the company properly. Or maybe when the stock price drop, you can step back and then analyze the situation properly. Yeah. And the background here, the background is a reality, which is a company which have good fundamental, are more likely to success, the stock price of them are more likely to increase.
Yeah.
Is this a reality? Yeah, if yes, so is it part of the reality? But what if not? Yeah, what if it's not the case? Yeah, the fundamental and the stock price is different thing. Yeah, the fundamental of the company can keep going up, but the stock price of the company can keep going down. And then you believe that you still believe you can win a game in long terms. But it no longer a reality. You're following the wrong directions, the wrong path.
Yeah.
So eventually, what you do just hurt you more.
Yep. So it's like a double-edged sword, right? If we didn't take into account reality.
Yeah. So reality here is still important. What I want to say here. Yeah. Same as the gambling. Yeah. Some people some addicted gambler gambler, they will think they are able to win back the money. Yeah, they think they are able to win back the money.
Yeah.
Or maybe some other people getting cheated. Yeah, get cheated by other scammer. Then they think they are able to get back their money if they give them more money.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you need to focus on what's the reality, what you can control, what you couldn't control. Okay. Yeah. And then okay, what's the ABC? What is the ABC theory? Is actually you can think that ABC is about the changes. It helps you change faster and change more effective, more efficiently. And from your article, actually there are two methods. There are two theories.
Okay.
And one of it is at the last paragraph of the article, which is the dissonance theory. As mentioned earlier, this is the article. Yeah, as mentioned earlier, people can also change their attitudes when they have conflicting beliefs about a topic. In order to reduce the tensions created by these incompatible beliefs, people often shift their attitudes. Yeah. So in this case, which means if your behavior is inconsistent with your attitudes,
Yeah.
and then you rationalize your behavior. You rationalize your behavior and then change your attitude, which is change your mind. Yeah. So if you want to change your attitude, instead of focus on the attitude, you focus on the other three things: your emotions, your behavior, and also your thoughts, your cognitive. Yeah, you use this to change your attitude.
Yep.
And also, I once said I once said we couldn't change our attitude. We couldn't change our insight. But it actually is more easier to change our behavior. Yeah,
Yep.
it's more easier to change our behavior. Yeah, because if we think something is correct, we should do, and then we can use our willpower, use our self-controlling ability to to force ourselves to do something.
Mm.
And then as we do more, the behavior the behavior can change the attitude. But what if you want to change your attitude without doing more? How can you change your attitude? Let's say I want you to accept the gun law.
Mm.
How can you change that? It's more difficult. Yeah,
Mm.
but of course this is possible. This is still possible.
Yeah.
Yeah, but in one day, if somebody holding guns, uh, when you are walking on the street and somebody holding gun and put on your head, and you may shift back your attitude.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
your emotion directly shift your attitude back immediately.
Mm.
Because of the fear. Yeah,
Yeah.
no matter how you persuade yourself using the theory, using the thought, using the cognitive. But
Mm.
but when the emotion trigger, it directly change your attitude back. But what if the whole society already doing this for 6 months, for 1 year,
Mm.
or maybe 5 years, 10 years? You already think this is something usual.
Yeah. We
Yeah.
also change our attitude, right?
Mm.
Just like the vaccine, everybody take it, and then we started to change our attitude and started to accept the vaccine.
Yeah. Because we derive conclusion from other people. If they take the vaccines and they are safe, so we also think after we take the vaccine, we will be safe.
Yeah.
Okay. So anything else?
Yeah, I think right. Instead of keep focusing on attitude, uh, the three aspect, which is emotion, behavior, and and what emotion, behavior,
Thought,
cognitive. Yeah. These three parts we can also start from these three parts, and then it will also helping us to form the attitude. I think attitude is something that actually is like a like a system um for some purpose. Let's say if you encounter something bad, and then it help you to form maybe a negative attitude, and next time when you encounter these things, you know that it is bad and you will try to avoid it. But yeah, but in our life, not all uh, this system it exists, but we need to have the awareness to know whether this is the attitude that we should have. And then if it is not, then we ignore it. We still choose to take action.
Yeah, because we keep rationalize to ourselves. We will say this is not a big deal. Yeah,
Mm.
not study hard is not a big deal, because you see the people who get A work for the people who get C.
Mm.
Yeah. And then yeah, don't exercise is is not a big deal.
Mm.
You see, we have so many products can help us cut loss.
Yeah, and smoking is not it's not necessarily bad. People smoke until 100 years, right?
Mm,
100 years old.
yeah, and to release our stress, and then we become more happy. When
Mm.
our stress decrease, our life expectancy increase.
Yeah.
Mm, yeah. So this is a bad example of cognitive therapy.
Mm.
Mm.
Yep.
When you're struggling, quitting smoking, you shouldn't think positively. In this case, you shouldn't think positively.
Yep.
Mm. Because smoking is something that is not good. Yeah,
Mm.
100% not good to your health.
Yep.
Mm. Okay, so
Yeah, I finished my sharing.
okay. So that's all for our today conversations. How do you feel? Did you enjoy the conversations? Please tell us what you think of our conversations. And we are not native speakers. If you found any vocabulary mistake that we made, please also comment to let us know because we want to learn more and improve ourselves. Remember to like and subscribe to us. Thanks for watching. See you tomorrow.
See you tomorrow.